Hello, welcome. My name is Steven. Welcome to my humble abode, Pretty Flowers. My painting, well, not my painting, but a painting that I love that I have there. Sometimes background videos, but welcome, welcome. This be the first case here, Edbury. I just wanted to check. Edbury Hill Manor. And the first victim, Doth Falls. Unfortunately, it wasn't one of the house guests. It was a staff member. Though as fortunate that is, still unfortunate in the events of the game now have thus begun. And now I'm here in front of you to share what I believe happened to poor Marcus. But first, let me share what transcribed and transpired in the events leading up to his unfortunate passing. Right? Anyways, as a celebration of our arrival, our staff had prepared a party the staff did prepare a party for us in the ballroom. But unfortunately, Stuart had to make the announcement, our butler had to make the announcement that the party will not be happening. It seems like the killer has already decided to get this party of his or her own started by eliminating someone. Just like that. Now, as Stuart walked into the ballroom, he discovered the gruesome scene there at the crime scene. The staff member being killed. And the killer didn't want anybody to have a good time because at the crime scene, Stuart sees a note that was written to him, and it says, and I quote, "Dear guests, if you haven't caught the hint by now, I'm the only life at the party. I know the next death will be even more satisfying. I can feel it in my bones." And Stuart apologizing that the party won't be happening. I have to make haste. The headless horseman can come at any time to take any one of us down. But trust me, I hope to elude and be the winner and unmask the sinner, unmask the killer in the end. But as it goes here with Amateur Truth, there are 3 locations that we can go to, and for this case, the crime scene was the food bar at the kitchen, the last known whereabouts being the ballroom, and then of course, the morgue. The morgue. Now going to the crime scene itself is some task. Because you go there and you see the food table and see as it was written down, brutable, nice play on words, assortment of snacks and a large bowl of punch on the table. Pool of blood on the floor. Food appeared to be dropped. Empty plastic cups, bottle of mustard, and a badge that reads Marcus and a taser. So Marcus being a security guard with his taser, with his badge on. With a badge on. Yeah. But the question is Marcus actually the one that died, or is the killer disguising as a Marcus? Is why you could see the name tag badge and taser on the floor. But it's probably the victim, as I would think. And in the morgue, you see blisters on the body, yellowish tint. Nothing ordinary in the lower body. Nosebleed. Eyes being quite red. And flipping him over, seeing a deep slit in the back of his neck. I would say 1 to 2 inches deep. Sharp object, doing that. Like a knife, or something to that effect. And then the last known whereabouts is basically just see what was going to be enjoyed at the party. Strobe lights, skeleton decorations hanging on the wall, fog machine, fake cobwebs strewn across the walls. There are a few people still left in the room, and there are the few security guards that were dressed up as witches, and a few maids dressed up as zombies. I believe the killer describes himself as a security guard, dressed as a witch, or just in security guard attire to blend in. Though again, this happened earlier. This is while things are being prepared, maybe an hour or two early. Because did you know there are different effects in regards to mustard gas, whether you digest it or you breathe it in. So either way, that's going to be interesting in its own right, where how you think that took effect in regards to this murder. But either way, it happened an early time ago. And what I think did happen is that 2 hours maybe before, or maybe the day before, right? Whether it's the day before, 6 to 12 hours before, he's in the cornfield picking up his corn, and out from one of those holes comes out with one of them the mustard gas. Because that's his job coming around there doing patrol on his watch. And that taking effect. Or there's also the aspect of it being an hour or 2 hours earlier. He's on patrol, he's in his security guard uniform, because not all of the security guards were witches, not all of the maids zombies. Some had to still work, still working in this manner. At the manor. So, bring in the humble abode that he ingests some food, drink some water, and it coming from there, and the blood. Now, blood coming from something else, and I'll share about that here soon, but just in the scenes leading up to it. The fog machine being on, and then when it turns off while it's still being on, that's how the killer can use military tactical strategies of being sneaky. Like a night ops kind of operation, kind of thing. And coming up from behind and getting him. When he's bending down to pick up food, get him. And that way, hiding underneath the table. But either digested through drinking water, digested by eating food, coming out of the mustard bottle itself, or being the cornfield. But I think the biggest one, I think the most logical out of all of them is by water or by food. Being ingested in the mustard gas taking effect of being odorless and otherwise. Because all of the evidence that we saw in his body at the morgue will lend to show that it's the effects of mustard gas, symptoms of it, and the effects taken if one is exposed to it in any way. Now, it is in regards to time difference and some of the effects if ingested versus like 6 to 12 hours, 1 to 3 hours, that sort of thing. But either way, he was up there, and he was setting up. He was there early, as they all were, I'm sure, setting things up, even in general, let alone there before the party started, setting up. That then it did happen, and the killer getting to him. Because as I found out with the riddle information from fellow cast member Caleb, who won, goes back into the crime scene to explore it again and finds a broomstick under the table. It appears to have a button on its handle. You press it, and a blade pops out at the end of the handle, kind of like the Batmobiles and other things, things popping up in the cars. Does that make any sense? The point is, that's the murder weapon, broomstick, with a knife, with a sharp knife at the end of it. The blade, or again, like a blade popping out of it. Kind of abstraction. A modified broomstick, basically. And that's why I say the killer being disguised as a security guard as a witch, or disguised as a security guard, period, with the broomstick, because having the broomstick, you're going as a witch in the party, right? But you're going undercover. You're not even going as the house guest coming early and just surveying things. No, that would be then too easy for the others to know who you are as regards to the killer. So, being disguised as a security guard, dressed up as a witch, with the broomstick, which I'm sure maybe all of them had as part of their costume, maybe not. The point is, the killer did. And with the broomstick, coming up to Marcus and in the back of the neck. With the broomstick, pressing the button in the handle and getting him, whether when he's bending down to pick up the food, or just in the fog after the gas still take effect on him, and there. So cause of death, loss of blood. Now the taser is in regards to what he has, in regards to as a security guard. So that is Marcus. Marcus is the victim. I know I talked about earlier, no, Marcus is the victim. But being attacked like that, and having this party, we're going to have a good time, a good way to introduce to each other. Had a couple of days to do that before things happening, but you know, the game is afoot. It's going to be interesting to see how things are moving forward. But as for the killer, as for who do I think? It's week 1. You can throw it anywhere, you can throw it everywhere. But in regards to this game, in regards to how things seem to be going moving forward, my guess is that you, Billy Nixon Jr., Bill. Remember, you can't trust Bill from Gravity Falls. I just Bill here. So, Billy, I believe you are the killer. I'm coming for you. I will unmask you as that killer. It's unfortunate to see what happened to Marcus. And Gail there, the food bar, the kitchen. Now remember, everything is all together in regards to the food bar and the ballroom. So it's not like going to one to the other on their separate ends, or conjoining rooms or areas. But yes, I did want to share my thoughts and what I went down. But in regards to everything else, now for the killer, he has his first tombstone of many to show, like an Undertaker exhibit at a WWE WrestleMania Access event. See, there's where he has the grave sites of all the people he defeated in WrestleMania. This is different here in this. The killer now has the first headstone, the first tombstone of the first one going down here in this game. That's for sure. The game's afoot, but I'm coming for you, Billy. Because as of right now, I believe you are the killer. And the only last thing I need to say to you is run.